So the guy said, we don't have it. Well, therefore, get the hell away. Get on the other side of the street. At which time, the picket says, look, this is where our jobs are on this side. These are our ships. These are our piers. Consequently, we're out to protect our jobs. And the police said, I don't give a damn what the hell you're protecting. Get on the other side. Now. Don't argue with me now. So some more argument took place, at which time a hand went up in the air and cops started streaming over. They didn't come over with feathers in their hand. They came over with baseball bats and clubs. They didn't ask any question, but tore right in the strikers. Within 15 minutes' time, not only was the whole picket line busted up, but somehow there must have been at least 100 men that couldn't get off the ground. They were so beaten. Others had dashed up the Market Street, dashed any place they could. Some of them even got inside one of the piers for protection. Inside a pier to keep away from the cops flaring them. So consequently, I think the papers, if you check any of the papers back in them days, 34, you would see that at least 250 men was received in the various hospitals with broken bones, needed stitches and everything else. And that's only counting the guys, the people who needed medical attention that went about to get it. What about those who got clubbed and smacked around and said to hell with it and went directly home? And they didn't do any reporting at all. So that's the way it operated. Now, a couple of days, finally, the picket says, okay, we knew they could never get a permit from City Hall. So what they did do, they got on the other side of the street on the Embarcadero and did their picketing all the way along the Embarcadero, down to at least Berry Street. But a significant thing also happened here that you should know about, and that was on Mission Street. A few days after the strike started, there was some sort of a special day for youth. And there was an act, I think, was going to go through Congress, which was going to open up some sort of a draft system to put the young kids in the Army. And so a bunch of the young guys, I forget the name of the youth organization, they said, let's have a demonstration on the corner of Mission and the Embarcadero to protest this. So consequently, about 150 kids showed up, 11 o'clock that day. And they got out of the chair, put the chair up, young guy got on the chair, start denouncing the whole system of making the kids go into the Army. So it was also a smart move because the heads of it said this would be a good way to show our solidarity with the striking seamen and longshoremen. And so consequently, like I say, 150 showed up. And the cops came over and they said, you punks got a permit? And the kids said, we don't need a permit, we're just talking to each other here. Cops said, you need a permit. Or get the hell out, get off here. So the kid says, okay, I'll get up on the chair and tell everybody we need a permit and that we have to break this up. At which time, the minute he stepped on a chair, the cops again flailed the kid, beat the hell out of him. And these are all 15, 16-year-old kids. Most of them came from middle-class kids. Consequently, they went home. Few went to the hospital. They went home. 5 days later, all the mothers, fathers said, okay, is this the way the bastards want it? We'll give them some of their own medicine. They came down to the ferry building with their own demonstration. And I think it was 500, 600, 700 that started at the ferry building to march up Market Street. And in it, the first row was little baby carriages, babies in it. And the mothers are pushing the baby carriages up Market Street. And across from the baby carriages, from track to track, they had a poster which says, beat us, club us, if you must. And they went all the way up to the city hall to protest. And it created quite a turmoil here because it took the police department and put them on their ends in the sense that this business of smashing people's heads in was not going to go far, that it was going to stop right now. And that's generally what happened at that stage. Anyway, this is where the first confrontation took place right here. So you're probably stepping on tons of blood there. The first pier at Matson is Pier 30 and 32. The significance of that pier was the fact that the NRLB, the National Labor Relations Act, came into being at that stage of the game. And Section 7A of that act said that people have the right to join a union, to belong to a union, to go on strike if necessary, and have their union recognized, and to be protected by federal law. When that came out, a group of men within Matson line dashed up and they joined, at that time, a union where where everybody was afraid to walk in the door, because if they got seen walking in the door of the longshoremen's union, they would have got completely kicked off the waterfront. So when that happened, the men dashed up, joined the union quickly, put the union button on their lapel, and dashed back to the pier. When they went into the pier, the bosses seen the button. And they said, "What the hell are you guys? What are you doing?" They said, "We now union men. We have a legitimate union." And the boss said, "Out the pier you go." And he fired them. At which case, the men ran back to the government board, told them what happened. Now, ordinarily, the bureaucracy takes ages to get the wheels turning when it comes time to help the working stiff. But in this particular case, the word was picked up within 5 minutes that it's now okay to belong to a union. And within 24 hours, the ILA, International Longshoremen's Association, had over 500 members lining up to join the union. That's how the word got around, how fast. And so that was the beginning of a strong union, one that has lasted since. So it's significant that what the Section 7A had done, and it gave the guys new spirit. But consequently, when they started putting in for negotiations, the ship owners thought that they could pay an extra 10 cents more and the men would go crawling back. It just didn't happen. And everybody is thankful that it didn't turn out that way. The men told them, take their 10 cents, you know what to do with it. And consequently today, we have the best medical system that we could think of. We have some of the best pension. We have the best safety conditions. Oh, you name it, the longshoreman has got it. But it also gave rise to leaders that were not corruptible. You couldn't buy them. Guys like Harry Bridges, guys like a man who just died here day before yesterday, Jerry Bolke, Henry Schmidt, people of that type who you couldn't buy out with any amount of money. And these were new leaders that labor had not been used to. We've been used to crooks and slime bags, scumbags, everything else. But now we had decent guys, and that's why the longshoremen are where they are today.